In the final CMS rule for 2025, CMS is making Medicare Advantage plans disclose their provider networks. Now, as an agent, the question you often get is, why did my doctor or hospital fall out of network? And I can help you answer that. Is my doctor or hospital going to fall out of network? I can't help you with that one. That's where I tell people if you're on a Medicare Advantage plan, you just need to remain flexible. And if you don't like the thought of having to switch doctors or switch hospitals, Medicare Advantage might not be right for you. You might want to take refuge in a Medicare supplement plan. So let's go back to the reasons why your hospital or doctor might no longer be in the network. The number one reason is money. They pay doctors and hospitals less than regular Medicare fee-for-service rates. So they all negotiate a lower rate. And the hospitals don't like to get paid less money. The rate will vary from company to company. As you can imagine, the larger carriers can carry more sway to negotiate a lower rate. And then the hospital says, I don't want to get paid less. We're just going to part ways. Most notably, recently, Johns Hopkins, one of the top hospitals in the country, they had an ongoing dispute all summer with United Healthcare, the nation's largest Medicare Advantage company, and they're now out of network. If your hospital goes out of network, there is something called a continuity of care benefit that you need to explore. That can vary by company, but basically, if I am going to Johns Hopkins, I'm getting my cancer treatment there when I become out of network. Again, this can vary. Most plans will allow me to continue to go there at the rates I was paying for 90 days. Some can be as generous as 120 days. But it's not forever. I can't continue to get all my care there. I get a little bit of care there before I have to switch, or if I'm out of network, before I have to start paying that on my own. So that's something you need to understand and be willing to talk to your clients about when hospitals and doctors go out of network. So one of the reasons that they go out of network is the hospitals don't want the reimbursement. Number two is excessive prior authorizations and other paperwork. Not all Medicare Advantage companies are created equally. Some have a lot more burdensome paperwork and drag their feet a lot more on prior authorizations than other companies. So your doctor can just say, I'm done. There's too much administrative cost in dealing with this insurance company. We're not going to renew our contract. The third reason is excessive claims denials. Some insurance companies are just not going to pay anything until you fight, appeal, and doctors get tired of that. Then the last reason, and one most near to the heart of doctors and hospitals, is that they get paid. Their claims are reimbursed very slowly by some insurance companies. So when the networks are breaking down, which unfortunately, it's popping up here and there, they get very visible in the public. They take out full page ads. They might send a letter to all of their patients. And you're getting these calls from your clients going, what should I do? This hospital that lives right by my house, is the only one I want to go to, might be out of network with my insurance company. If it's during AEP, you can say, let's wait till the end of AEP till you have to make your decision. But then if it's still dragging on, it's just a crapshoot, right? You don't know. The best thing you can be is upfront with your client. I think a lot of times our clients think we know. We don't know. We don't have a line of sight when these contracts are going to renew. So that's something I built into my presentation when I'm talking about Medicare Advantage, is I say your doctors and your hospitals are in the network now. This could change at any time. There's 30 days notice. I have no way to know when these contracts are going to expire. They're in the network right now, but you could get a letter in 2 months saying no longer in the network. How would you feel if that happened? Would you be okay to switch doctors, switch hospitals? In which case, that's what we'll do. And if you say, no, I've been seeing that doctor for 20 years. There is no way I'm going to switch that doctor. My rheumatologist is my most important person in my life outside of my spouse. Well, then let's kind of walk through that. How many times a year do you see your rheumatologist? I've asked many people this question, and they typically say like 2-3 times a year. When it's under control, you don't see them that much. Okay. If your doctor goes out of network and we have to pay on a PPO plan. We have to pay the higher cost to show your client what that would look like for 3 visits out of network. If your client's on an HMO, now we're going to talk about what's the full cost to see your doctor out of network. And it might be, $200 a visit, and you see your doctor 2 or 3 times a year. It might be $600. Is it worth that out-of-pocket cost for you to see that rheumatologist? Some people will say yes. Other people will say no. I will go search for another doctor, and that's where you can come in to help them with that. You just want to make it clear so they're not complaining and mad at you, the agent, because these networks are in flux, because they are in flux. And it seems like more so right now in 2025 than they have been in the past because of all the financial pressures on the Medicare Advantage companies to kind of right side their margins, their profits, that they are getting tighter with the doctors and the hospitals. And a lot of the doctors and the hospitals are saying, no, thank you. Remember, not all Medicare Advantage companies are created equally. And as you can see, if you follow my videos where I'm talking about their stock and their pressures, that some companies are a little bit more lenient. The smaller guys trying to get in the market. There's about 4 well-known smaller guys. Let's say their enrollment's between 100 and 200,000 members that are really trying to grow. They really want to grow for 2026. They're nicer. They pay faster to these doctors and hospitals because they have to. But the more established companies that have millions of members that are trying to right-side their membership, the big guys are the ones that are saying, I don't need that hospital. I don't need that doctor unless they want to lower their rates. They're the ones that are creating more network headaches for you. So how do you prevent this from becoming a complaint to Medicare? Education. Explaining to your clients up front, if they're new to Medicare Advantage, that these parts are moving. If they came from a Medicare supplement, that a Medicare supplement benefits never change. That you can go to any doctor, any hospital. Medicare Advantage is a different type of insurance altogether. It's not an apples to apples comparison. Medicare Advantage, you need to be flexible because there's a lot of moving parts and they could move at any time. So if you're educating your clients up front, you should not be getting complaints to Medicare because the insurance companies are very much zeroing in on agents that have a lot of complaints. Now, a lot of complaints to you, based on how much you sell, you might say, that's not a lot of complaints. I sold 200 cases. I only had 8 complaints. That could be a lot to an insurance company. We are seeing agents getting terminated because they're complaints to Medicare. Now, the thing that should scare you, which kind of makes my blood run a little cold, is that most complaints to Medicare are unsubstantiated, meaning you didn't do anything wrong. The agent didn't misrepresent anything, and we have the calls to prove that, right? The reason the client is complaining is because their hospital's no longer in network, and they're mad. So we have the call to prove that you explained everything that I went through. In network now, can change later. You have to be flexible. I don't have any line of sight of it. You did the complete education, but the client is still mad. And so the complaint is against you because you're the face of the insurance company, and it will be unsubstantiated. But the insurance companies don't want unsubstantiated complaints either. So do a better job. Be more emphatic. You're like, I already told them. I told them the whole thing you told me to tell them. Tell them again. Put it in your newsletter, which ideally you have. Put it in your social media posts. If you do other things throughout the year, this is where you can't bring it up enough that Medicare Advantage networks, doctors, and hospitals are in flux and can change at any time. It's not your fault. It's not specific to this insurance company. It's all the insurance companies. It's the nature of the beast. The more education you do, the less complaints to Medicare you will have. Not that your clients necessarily will be happier, but I found my clients, they'll still call and they'll yell, but they'll say, Sylvia, I'm mad, 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 but I'm not mad at you. And that's your goal, right? You can just vent with me, but don't be mad. And please do not complain to Medicare because all of us, we've got to work together to bring down these complaints to Medicare because complaints to Medicare feed into the star rating, which feeds into the amount of money the plan gets, which feeds into the benefits that we're able to offer. So we're all in this together. Sorry, Rebecca couldn't be here today. I hope she'll be back with me one day soon. I don't think she likes all the kind of negative information going on. She's just letting me dump it on you. But thanks so much for joining me. If you don't follow us, we would love to have you follow us here at the Sisters of Selling. And we will keep you updated on all the changes in the insurance industry. Thanks.